あと勝つためにやることは一つ。
Now that you know how to detect your dark side like Yuichi from Tomodachi game, you will learn how to control it before you self-destruct. These are 10 plus ways to do so with specific examples. 1. Give your shadow a name. Use role-playing between you and your shadow. See how the shadow interacts with you and the thought process that it follows. What it wants, what it needs. Create a dialogue instead of a monologue. Don't try and create some stereotypical version that is grandiose or even cartoonish, but start small. Focus on small dark desires. It's not clear yet? Well, let's go to step 2. 2. Explore your dark side through journaling and self-reflection. Journal entry example from the perspective of a woman. Today I lashed out and completely overreacted when someone complimented my boyfriend. Why did I do that? Why am I insecure about? Am I afraid that he will leave me if he thinks he deserves better? Or am I jealous of that specific person because I see them as a threat? How do I feel about that person? Do I hate them? Do I envy them? Did the feelings exist before or after the compliment? She seems to be in a good marriage and I clearly hated her before. Okay, that means I'm kinda jealous of that person. And it's not about my boyfriend. What qualities do I hate about her specifically? Well, I hate her ability to skillfully and effortlessly charm people. Is this something I lack? It's disgusting, I know, but I will observe why she's good at this, or maybe even ask her. The natural step after this is 3. Move towards what you hate and envy. Hatred is just fear crystallized. Envy is hidden admiration if viewed in a healthy way, or an admission of defeat if you let it grow deep in your heart and your head. The person you hate will seem evil if you lose sight of what's important, and the person you envy will seem invincible as well. The key is to move closer to these things and take a peek into their lives. Not in a creepy way, but to explore them better, to see them for what they really are. You will find that their lives are not as perfect as you paint it to be, as you want it to be. People have good and bad qualities, and will aim to project the best of themselves to the world and to you. Recently I met a friend of a friend who married a rich girl, billionaire rich. On social media his life seemed perfect, but in reality, they were secretly suffering. They were divorcing. It completely crushed his ego. I tried to compliment him on something before I knew this fact, and he just couldn't accept this compliment. His self-esteem was down the drain, despite being very attractive and very successful. Avoid schadenfreude. Having pleasure from people's failures is not a good quality. It's ugly to show. Instead, aim to emulate the ones you envy. Maybe you will learn something valuable. As for the ones you hate, find something good about them, or recognize your commonalities and other things. Use the Me Too strategy. This person did something nasty. Me too. I have a list of things I did. This person is hateful. Me too. I've hated on others before. This person is jealous of me. Me too. I'm also jealous of me. 4. Give yourself permission to be bad at times. It's okay to lie sometimes, or to seek self-interest. Prioritize yourself above others in certain moments. It doesn't make you a bad person, but merely a human being. And the chessboard, the priority is to protect the king. If the king is safe, he can advance and win the game. Everyone will benefit because he knows his character, so it is okay to choose himself as the king. As a woman, you can do the same. Women are very agreeable and they sacrifice a lot for the greater good of the team. They are team players. Nowadays, women are pushed to be selfish and choose their career over anything else. Because they are team players deep down, in the long run, this will make them miserable. When we are young, we don't see the consequences of our actions. Ultimately, the goal for women is to be their agreeable selves, but not go overboard on the selfishness train or down the victimhood road. The key is to allow themselves to be selfish, at times. Selfish enough to fulfill their needs and agreeable enough not to lose themselves. Same can be said about men who overvalue competition over cooperation. These men are easy prey because fake gurus out there wants to prey on them, on their dark desires of control. 5. Be aware of your shadow enablers. Speaking of fake gurus, shadow enablers play on your darkest desires. Some of them are friends, some of them are family who place you in situations that trigger your shadow for their pleasure or desire to control you. Watch my video on shadow enablers to understand more. You can find it in the Courtier playlist. 6. Set strong boundaries. You must set strong boundaries if you are too agreeable to avoid becoming resentful and passive-aggressive in the long run. Learn to say no. If you don't know how, you can have an automatic response ready. A script of sorts to get you through the first no's. Example, person A can give you a request and you say, "As much as I would love to do X with you, Maria, I can't at the moment. I appreciate your invitation to go to the mosque, Jamal, but I'm not comfortable with that at the moment." You can say, "Unfortunately, Vic, I already gave my word to someone else for the weekend." As you get better at it, you will need to give an excuse. "Unfortunately, I can't, Sarah." Or you can say, "No thank you, but it sounds great." And that will be enough. I know this sounds simple, but a lot of people can't say no. And as an agreeable person, sometimes I still find this difficult. I'll leave a link to a list of 80 ways to say no. You can find it in the description below. 7. Label and take responsibility for your feelings as you feel them. Don't aim to suppress them thinking you're some kind of tough guy. The more you push them away, your nerves will find ways to infiltrate other parts of your life and pop like the emotionally inflated balloons that they are. Life is constantly moving like waves in the ocean. Waves come and go. Feelings are similar. Feelings are momentary like a cloud that passes by. Learn to surf these urges and think about them until they pass away. Some will pass in a matter of seconds, others in minutes, and some will last weeks and months. When they are here, look at the cloud, feel the cloud in your body, and breathe through the process. Allow them to go. Things arise and she lets them come. Things disappear and she lets them go. 8. Recognize moments in your life when your shadow helped you out. Maybe in a tricky situation, your capacity for anger gave you the assertiveness possible to do what's right, or intimidate the bad guys away. Maybe your vulnerability and insecurity made you more relatable and pushed people to get to know you more. Perhaps it warded off envy from your sights. You no longer appear perfect, so they don't have to envy you. Number 9. The treasure lies where you don't want to look. In myths, the hero is the one who conquers the dragon, not the one who is devoured by it. And yet both have to deal with the same dragon. Also, he is no hero who never met the dragon, or who is, if once he saw it, declared afterwards that he saw nothing. Equally, only one who has risked the fight with the dragon and is not overcome by it wins the hoard, the treasure hard to attain. He alone has a genuine claim to self-confidence, for he has faced the darker ground of his self and thereby has gained himself. This experience gives some faith and trust, the pistis and the ability of the self to sustain him, for everything that menaced him from inside he has made his own. He has acquired the right to believe that he will be able to overcome all future threats by the same means. He has arrived at an inner certainty which makes him capable of self-reliance. Carl Jung. Other ways of controlling your shadow, or regulating your shadow is a better term, are 10. Find a creative outlet to express your shadow. Some do it through art, others through writing, some through sports, others through pranks and comedy. Find what speaks to you and do it. People over-idealize the idea of a self-destructive artist. You can transform your dark side into art and purify it without damaging yourself. 11. Practice gratitude for what you have. Just like kindness, gratitude elevates your spirit almost immediately. You don't have to be religious to value something. Take a moment when you are having problems to be grateful for what you have before it's too late. 12. Forgive your past mistakes and aim to do the same for the mistakes of others. Don't necessarily forget about them totally, or you will be a sucker. Simply forgive. 13. Explore a therapist if you can afford it. I'm sure there are online services and therapists that are volunteering. 14. Realize that this journey is very long and don't be too attached to the outcome. You will only get angry at yourself for failing at it, making things worse. Your life is a masterpiece, so take time to craft it. 15. Cognitive distortions. Listen to your inner dialogue and how you talk to yourself and about others. In my first video on the new channel, I talked about the 10 cognitive distortions that cloud your judgment. Check this video out to learn about the scripts in your inner dialogue. It will help you tremendously dealing with the shadow. Now that you can control your dark side, can you feel more okay allowing yourself to be a better liar? If yes, check this video over here. I'll see you there.